Good evening, YouTube. Today is April 1st, and we are getting back on the 300. I'm going to try to do a little work in the evening. So in preparation of mounting the Variator, we have our rebuilt cylinder out here, and that is, we are going to work on mounting that. We have new hoses made for it. And we've had this cylinder rebuilt at a hydraulic shop. Later on in the future, I will attempt to redo my own cylinder once and see how that goes. But that's what I opted to do for these. So, that being said, we're going to keep moving forward. And we're going to get mounted up here. The cylinder is going to go in here. We got to connect onto these lines and get ready to mount that. So that's what we're working on. Alright, I want to show you what we ran into. Always pays to have a parts combine around. So this is the cylinder we're going to use, but when we went to clean it, we found some very pronounced wear where it is in here is where it goes on the Variator. It would be like this here, and that goes in here, and there's quite a bit of play between there. I'm going to see if we can shim it, but that wear, I didn't know what we were going to do, so we went upstairs, got another cylinder, and it has the same problem, so this must be an issue, not as much. So we went out to the pasture one, and we've got one here with very little, if no wear. So we're going to take it apart. That'll be another part off of it. And then we will have a block. We'll get that cleaned up and get back to you. So think you're moving forward, and then you have a step backwards. But that's a lot of wear on that block, and that's just going to lead to more vibration going down here. Hard to keep the new seals in. It's just kind of a domino effect. So anywhere I can, I want to try to take out the wear and the slop. So we'll work on that and then get back to you. All right, we have taken our third unit apart. This one here is the one that was on my combine. This is on, I don't know which one. Maybe the one I disassembled. I don't remember. I don't think so, though, because it was upstairs. There's probably one still back in the box in the back. This is the block of the one out in the pasture. It has some wear, but not near as pronounced as these other two. So I am going to... That's going to go right in there. I'm going to see if we can make some sheet metal shims, or there's the gap right there. Maybe one washer will do. I don't know. But I'm going to try to run a washer in there to see if that will take up the slack. Maybe make a brass washer or something. Well, good afternoon. It's Saturday, the 5th of April. So this video has been drawn out. We got to work one evening this week. I am organizing parts that we should not need anymore and labeling. So if I'm not around, my boys will know what they are and help us grab them quicker. Cut down a box, made 2 boxes. So I'm organizing those, doing house cleaning today. We're going to be getting back on it. We'll keep you posted. All right, to give you an update here, I have been cleaning hardware and checking fit. We got extra pins here. We got pins with wear. That's where the cylinder goes into this block. So we got one here from the combine we took apart with no wear. We sanded the wear marks out of this block. Plan is to put that in there. It's going to be a challenge, and get this washer that will take up the play in there. So that's like a perfect shim fit right there, since we sanded both sides until the wear marks were removed. So did that on a sanding machine. We got the threads all chased. We got to put our cylinder together so that it resembles that right there, that we have our stops for adjusting it. We had to work an hour to get this pin to fit. This pin goes in here with the clutch, and you got to get it, there you go. That there is quite the fit. You got to have everything perfectly straight. It had burrs on it, because if we have to take it off, we don't want to be out there fighting it. We got grease packed in here. Cylinder's going to go on here. So we're about ready to get the cylinder together, and that's the next step, and then we will be able to mount it. Hopefully I can keep everything in frame. I'm going to put this on here now. This goes on the cylinder, like so, up to the jam nut. So then the jam nut will be put against it, and then I have to get these down here and bring the cylinder down to them. Hopefully I can do that. There we go. That went down with quite a jerk. Put these back on. This cylinder has been rebuilt. I will have to extend it out. Then we got to get these on. So I'm going to put a little bit of get these screwed in now into the block. And that's where the jam nuts were. I don't want to have to adjust them. Let me get my wrenches. All right. We'll turn those into the block. And I will take everything over to the vise, put it in the vise, and put the jam nuts tight against the block. What this does, it limits the travel of the cylinder against itself. And my goal was to take as much vibration out of this whole mechanism as possible so that the seals and everything wear better. Now, we will have to probably put it in, oh, there we go. Now these have threads only on one end. So you want that to go up so it can travel up the rod. And that creates your stop. And then this is the jam nut to go on the bottom of it. And we really don't know where that's at until we get the engine fired up and we assess its travel. Get the threads all cleaned up and get pretty good. There we go. Blew that cap all the way across the shop. So let me get the jam nuts now tight against each other. I'm not going to tighten these because we're going to be adjusting those when we get it fired up, and then we'll get into mounting this. I kind of thought this was unique in the vibration of running the machine, the cotter key was made a witness mark into the washer that goes on the outside of the where this is mounted, which you'll see here in a minute. This pin goes through, and the clutch, the pivot is on here and everything. So thought that was interesting. Now, this could be problematic because I need to put a line on back there, so I may be taking this back off. I'm not going to put the cotter key in just yet, but that's how it's going to go right there. I got the hoses on. I forgot to turn you guys on. Pretty sure I got this correct. I don't know if these might have got reversed, but I don't think so. I'll have to watch the video. Because we want the lever, when you push it forward to increase the speed, when you pull it back to decrease the speed. So I think I went and looked at the other combines. I got to look at the other videos, but I think we're all good in that regard. Hopefully I didn't get these two lines switched, which would put that one there and it'd be over here. This one would be down here more. But we'll see. We won't know that until we fire it up, but that will be an easy fix. So, cylinder, other than the cotter key, is installed. And I'll have to get that adjusted where we need it when we get the arm on here with the pulley. And I'm going to need help for that, so I'm going to call it a day. Okay, there ain't no way I'm lifting that. I think that would do me in. So I got a forklift holding it up. Hopefully I can scoot it over and get it on. My assistant is preoccupied with some other duties. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Think so. It's close. Now I'm moving you guys with the belts. There we go. We're getting close. Going on pretty good. We don't want to come off the pallet and go crashing down on our clutch. What I need to do now is get it tied up to here so that I can get it all the way on and work with it that way. So now I'm going to have to get you guys on hold and get that done. All right, what I was able to do was get a motorcycle strap up to that engagement lever. And then I took the pressure off of the pallet and it slid right on. So I will get the forklift out of the way and then we will work with the belts. Now you can see what I mean about things are going to get tight and in a hurry. So I don't know that there's a particular order I should be doing this in, putting this on last, but I'm putting it on now. It's amazing how they got all these clearances to work back before they had design computers and stuff. That's always amazing to me. But anyway, let me get you off the tripod and show you what all's going on. So we have, this is going to be on the Variator. We have our threshing belt will be going around here. And I still have to put a guide right in here. There's 2 holes that the guide is going to mount in for this. One of these. This one isn't tightened yet. So I got the Variator all the way over, and this stuff is flying around, and look at the clearances there. Isn't that amazing? And this is all the way over against there, like it's supposed to be. There's a bracket that comes on here and goes up into here, which we'll get to. But my goal is right now is to get this cylinder attached. We got to get that attached in there, and that belt on down there. And then we can begin to put in our unloading counter shaft. I told you there's a lot that goes on in here, and it gets very tight. Like we've got to install our concave, which there'll be a bolt goes in there. We've got bolts that are going to go back there. So we're going to need patience and thoughtfulness. Like I said, I don't even know if I should be putting this on because you can get to everything right now, but that's what I'm doing. Hopefully it won't have to come back off. So we're starting to look like that picture. We got to get that belt on down there. So anyway, let me get to it. What I think I will do is attempt to lower it using, it can't get away from me too much because I'm on the upper pulley up there, right up there on the power output shaft. Attempt to lower it to see if I can get the belt on down here. That actually worked really well. We're hanging on our belt. There's a lot of movement I have to do with the camera, so bear with me. And I think I'm getting close to getting that pulled around there. Let me rearrange some things. I got the strap off, and so I'll have to loosen the hose on the cylinder and raise it up to meet the Variator itself. So that shouldn't be really an issue there. But you can see you want everything tight because it's a dog to get to those hoses now that are behind the Variator. Alright, let me show you where I'm at. And because I'm working with belts from 2 different places and aftermarket, this lower belt did come from a dealer, and these numbers match up to the book, but I don't know what this RE means. Now I think it came from a shut-down dealer, and he said he had one and he gave it to me, and I really wanted to use it, and it's made in Germany. I think it'd be a high-quality belt, but I can't pop it over there, and I can't pop it over there. Now I could put a battery in it, turn the motor over, and probably pop that over, but I don't know if we're going to have our range of travel right here, because I want to have my full speed. So I'm going to have to take this back off, do a test fit with the other belt. This belt is from Abilene Machine, so it might have a little bit more inches in it. I don't know. I really wanted to use this belt, but for my own knowledge, I think I'm going to just take this, slide this over 6 inches, or not 6, but 4. Take that Variator out of there, pop the other belt in there, and check it out for fit, because I want to do this right. All right, we took the arm back off, took the Variator out of the fork, put on the other belt. I think the other belt would have went on, but we're there now. We're not going to take it off. And my assistant had to come out and help me. We had to get this. I don't like doing it. We had to pry it over with a small rod over the edge. And while he did that, I tapped on this one. And I had the ratchet strap here and up to this shaft, so it was, and raised it up as tight as we could get it. And that got us. And then I tapped on this and tapped on the back side of the belt to get it up in there, and it popped right over. So maybe the other one was too short. I don't know. We'll have it in reserve. We have this one on now, so we're going to try it. These are these aftermarket ones, so we will see what happens there. And if these go bad quickly and I have to change them out, we'll go to Massey ones and just pay the price, but we'll see what happens. So that's on. We would now be ready to adjust it outward to take up the tension, and we've got to get our keys in and our cotter keys. So that's what we're working on. All right, we have the cylinder hooked up. I don't know if you can see it right in there. We have our key in there. That's snapped in nicely, so that should hold. We have right in between there, right in between the wall and the fork, we have our shim in there because we sanded that block, took the wear marks out, and we want that to be solid, and maybe we can reduce some vibration. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not problematic. We have to adjust the stops. Now we got a belt, but first we have to adjust the belt down in the forks, so we'll begin to do that now. Now what we're going to do is shove this here down the slide, and we're going to tighten up our traction drives. And then we jam nut it on the back side here with the other nut right in there. So now comes the wrenching part. All right, we have the bolts ran out, and this is now tight. These have good tension on them. I do believe, now that I see how far that went, the other one would have worked too if we would have just kept working, but I didn't know. But that's for another day. So what I was telling you about, you can see how things get super close. We have to hook up our cable there that you know about from the previous episode. But look here. Look at that. That is like 1/8 of an inch or less. The belt goes along the engagement pulley here. Look at that. They figured all of this out on paper, drawn out on paper. That's just so amazing to me, and that's why I like working on old machinery. So we have to put a cotter key in down there, and now we have to adjust our cylinder stops. And we're pretty close on those because our belt is right here on the edge, but we'll also need to run it up and down in there for when it's in the other speed. So right now I'm going to tighten up the cylinder stops, and then we will go from there. I'm going to tighten these up. All right, we have our lower limits adjusted where we think we're close. These here get adjusted on the upper limits as needed, but we should be good. We should be awfully close to where we need to be. That being said, we got our cotter key in way down in there. Let's see if you can see it right there. We have our belts tight, and I think it's time that we see if we can get some fuel to the old girl and fire this up. And then the oil will begin to leak, because I know it leaks out of there profusely. But that's going to be what we start going after, because we have to put in the unloading mechanism now, and we can start working on the brakes, and I will change the seals in here. We can start hooking up the clutch linkage and adjusting it, and we should be able to keep moving forward, marching forward, slowly but surely. Hopefully, those lines don't need to be reversed. But I think we're good. I think we're coming the witness marks show we're in the right area. So I think we're going to be good. Anyway, keep moving forward. The Variator is finished, and hopefully we don't have to take it off. And like, share, and subscribe. The work on the 300 continues.